And we're on topic 2. Bam. What we got, Xeno?
Cool. Right. So topic 2. DE needs to stop adding new cool shit and start fixing their old cool shit. Right. DE's main method for development seems to be introduce a cool concept, patch it once or twice, then toss it in favor for the next cool thing over and over. Most everything DE introduces are self-contained mini experiences that don't tie into anything else. Liches, Railjack, Orb Vales, they've all been abandoned by DE because of this, Warframe is more of a collection of smaller games packaged as one game. Remember the Railjack demo where they called the Railjack down into the Orb Vales, flew it into orbit, and crashed into a Corpus obelisk, which then turned into an extermination mission. Whatever happened to that?
Can you remind me, in last week's poll, where did the call down Railjack into open world come?
Oh, I think it was like dead last.
Dead last, that wasn't... Okay, fair enough.
Hold on, if you bear with me, I can get that up.
Because I do feel there was something in that, the fact that it was like they were being shot from orbit by low orbit ion cannons or something. It was kind of cool, and that you got your Railjack to deal with them.
Yeah. So was it this? Was this the thing? Probably. Right. So. No, sorry. The Nefanyo fight was dead last. Then Captain Vor / the Neural Sentry. Then Railjack as transport.
So what percentage did it get?
28.
20. Okay. The highest, Scott.
I think. 58.
Oh, okay. So clearly it's not on most people's mind.
Right.
No, that's roughly. That's roughly. It's fine. It is fine. So let's go back to the topic here. And I feel this is the whole Warframe islands thing, castles in mud swamps or whatever it was. What's your feel on this? You know,
I
agree with.
No, I don't know what to say, because the problem is it's a big case of the chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't have players playing the new content, then it is a piece of failure, right? But they can only put the minimum amount of work into the new content. Like, Plains of Eidolon was such a huge success, right? That it incentivized them to do another one better. And I don't think anyone would disagree that Orb Vales is better than the Plains of Eidolon. Yeah?
Mostly better.
No. So Orb Vales has its own faults, right?
Yeah.
We're not denying that. But fishing was kind of
all aspects were better, apart from my opinion. I much prefer the way the Eidolons are handled than the Orb Mothers. Everything else, Orb Vales is superior.
Even the Exploiter?
I like the Exploiter, but I would prefer... Exploiter is close to how... I like the Eidolons are just there on the map. They feel organic. They feel part of the environment. They do their own thing.
The Exploiter, you have to engage.
You have to engage.
Right, okay.
If the Exploiter was like Profit Taker, and it was like just sat there on the world, and then you attacked it through some method, you can get... I don't mind activating it, but it's just not on the world. It's not part of the world. You have to... Doesn't feel... You have to spawn it,
it's not like hanging around anywhere.
Yes, exactly. But that's the thing. And the only thing is, like, Profit Taker is hanging around, but you can't interact with it. I'm sorry, it's not there. To activate it, you have to go through an instance version of the map. It is not part of the world.
Yeah. No, I concur.
I like the Eidolons are looking for their arms. They just... If you don't log in and fight them, they don't care. They're going to keep looking for their arms. I know, eternally, but still, it just feels more like a world with things happening in it, because It's like how I like in the Corpus Gas City rework, no, the ship rework, and I think the Gas City rework, if you're careful and you're quick and stealthy, you can actually find the Corpus interacting with terminals and things. Like, their job is not just to stand around with guns waiting for you to turn up. They're doing their own stuff. It is a world, not just like... But the Grineer, for instance, they're in every ship, they are literally just walking around with guns waiting to shoot you. There's no... You never see them working on the ship. You know? Things like that make the world, to me... I notice these things because they make the world feel more real to me. And the Orb Mother's being... Bleh, I'm sitting in a puddle.
So
anyway, back to the topic, sorry.
I feel confused by the topic title and the body of the content, because DE need to stop adding new cool shit and start fixing their old cool shit. Remember the Railjack demo where they called the Railjack down to the Orb Vales, flew it into orbit? Like, isn't this, apart from the calling the Railjack down to the open worlds, isn't this literally what they're doing now?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Most of what they're saying, I think, has been put in because didn't they say in the dev stream about how they're adding Orphix Venom into Railjack? Like, you do Railjack for a bit and then you go do Orphix Venom. So you're gonna have to kind of go onto ships and do like proper missions. That's what they're achieving, aren't they? That's what I thought. I don't know. Adding Exterminate, I know. I think I remember them saying that.
But to me, like,
I think
this Railjack is not old new shit. Sorry, it's not old cool shit. Railjack is new cool shit.
Well, it is. How old is it? Like a
year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah. It was October 2019. It was at the Game Awards when they actually released it. And then all of last year, we didn't get a single update for it.
Yeah,
and we got
okay.
Demos instead.
Yeah. Stop adding cool new shit and fix it. Yeah, I mean, that, yeah, it isn't, in Warframe terms, it's not old enough to call it old shit, is it?
No, like...
their old cool shit would be like Arcwing missions being gutted and removed.
Exactly. Right. This came out 5 days ago.
Yeah, or pets. Pets are old shit.
Yeah, pets are old shit.
Pointing that actually, I don't not a big fan of Demos, and I just can't engage with it. You have to admit that was partly allowing them to go and fix their old shit, because the Helminth was there for a long time. We had the Helminth Kubro thing, and that was it. And we had the things in our deck, and that was years ago. And then they did go back and they fleshed that out, and now it's a complete system. So that is them going back and fixing old shit. So there's a perfect example of them doing it. Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel that, okay, so I feel that this topic title is just wrong. I feel this topic title should be, you know, what happened to the stuff they teased, right?
Yeah.
Things like, you know, things like the calling down your Railjack into Orb Vales, like that, you know, again, they teased Deviri. Where's Deviri? You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I would like to, I think the goal on this is to separate it. New cool shit is like Deviri, that's been announced but not released, sort of, that one. But the Corpus the Railjack coming down into the open world thing, the Railjack is in the game, and it's just that feature is missing. Whereas they're not, you know, asking about Deviri, because I think that does nothing in game. Squad Link, they're trying on Squad Link, but what else?
Trials, old shit.
Self-contained mini experiences that don't tie into anything. Liches, Railjack, Orb Vales. They've all been abandoned by DE. Right, Liches. Has Liches been abandoned by DE? No.
No.
Because we're getting the Corpus version of the system. And I do believe they're also planning, I think it's coming with the Corpus one. Aren't they going to add in the ship part that was shown? I swear they announced that with the Corpus thingy one.
I'm going to assume that that's not happening until they say otherwise. Because
I swear they said. Back before Christmas.
Spoken a lot. Yeah, they said that, right? But we've not seen it since, right?
Yeah, but then that's like saying we haven't heard about Corpus Kingpin system in about a month or so, thus it's not happening. I swear they said...
No, but we've heard that multiple times, like multiple dev streams in a row.
Okay,
right?
All right, shall we accept? Can you agree on this? That they are adding the Corpus Kingpin system, whatever. But also, I do believe they will be adding additional functionality to the Lich-based system. We don't know exactly what's going to come out, but they are expanding on it as well.
Yeah, they haven't said otherwise.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's clearly not been abandoned. More development time is going on it, despite the fact it was sat on the back burner for years. It did come out. It's getting expanded upon. You know, no. There might in the future there might be a infested version. Who knows? You know, but
it's interesting. Like, you know, okay, if you could pick any one thing, right, that we know ahead of time that they're not changing radically. So we know that Arcwing missions are going away entirely, right?
Yeah.
So we can't say make Arcwing great again. Can you think of a system that you would like to see improved upon or brought back or something like that that we don't already know is going to have some TLC? Does the question make sense?
But I can't. Can you name another system that's gone away? I mean,
Trials.
Trials. Yeah, Trials. That's coming back though. Anything else?
Oh, you're getting your emblem now. Well, I mean, we've only got like a slight slither of information that the trials are coming back.
No, but they've announced that it's coming back. I'm going to give them fair about the third mob. Yeah, these third mob. You know, that they are working on these things. They're just
maybe the dark sectors.
There you go. Okay, I'll give you that one. Dark sectors. Yeah, that's a good example of an abandoned concept. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I want that back. Yeah.
What else? The evolution and growth of operators. It's been nearly.
I don't think we ever had.
You
see, that's something which I'm going to fight you back on it because on the Lich thing, I think they were much clearer on that. You know, they showed stuff about the spaceship and they definitely said they're going to be expanding it. Whereas that, they just teased 2 sentences. They never showed anything.
We had Megan on episode
200. Yeah, and exactly. She said a line. That literally could have been as far as the concept had gone.
I wasn't quite sure if you're referring to the Deviri trailer.
Oh, no. I literally mean back in, like, that they mentioned, I think maybe at one point they said, maybe we'll give melee weapons. And then Megan said, hey, how would you feel about operators getting older? That was it. That might have been as far as it had gone, development time at the time. You know?
Well, it's just one sentence.
Yeah, it just might have been in a meeting. Exactly, yeah. Whereas for example, the Grineer spaceship for Liches, that has been shown, and I swear that has been announced at one of the recent dev streams. Is it with the green pin thing? I swear. That's got more work to it, but yeah, so I'm not going to say that the aging thing's a big one. But I think you're right on the dark sectors, definitely.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of?
I think the biggest feature I want to come back is exclusively the trials. Like, you know, I just want to have that like multi-team-esque combat system. And I think that
I also
the shit are you doing with your melee? You're violently shaking your mouse around and it's like, my eyes.
What am I fighting?
You're fighting some Grineer and you just got out. I don't think it was Exalted Blade. You just got out a sword. You're trying to mine something in the plains and you're just violently shaking your mouse left and right while meleeing. And I'm like, oh my god, no, my eyes. My poor eyes.
Huh. Oh, so we've already missed the bit where I'm doing Nightwave and I'm like, oh, I'll do Nightwave things. Oh, mine some minerals. And I go to Vales and then go, why isn't this working? Go to plains. I'm like, fail.
Oh, I thought you were just mining stuff. I didn't realize you were doing Nightwave stuff. Good job. Okay.
Let's go back to the list here. Sorry, that's what I was doing. So we said Liches, and I think they are working on that and expanded. Railjack, no duh, it's being expanded.
Yeah.
Now, okay, maybe, I'm not sure we'll get the whole calling the Railjack down into Orb Vales, which I'm very sad about because I love it if you could go up into orbit, down again, and have effects between them. That kind of thing is what I think open worlds need. Like the ability to have an effect like that. I mean, not all of them, but definitely that one. And then the other thing they've said...
I think it needs to be all of them. I think potentially...
Well, I don't know what you would do for the bloody... I mean, the planes. Okay, I go up into orbit. Okay, maybe you could have the...
Weapons. Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, you said planes. My bad.
Yeah, on the planes, maybe you go up into orbit to defend against Plague-style meteorites coming down, and then the more you stop, when you go back down, you've got less infested to kill. That's the kind of thing you could do, I guess.
Maybe there's some kind of federation up in orbit doing some kind of blockade and you're sent to negotiate peace talks.
Okay, no, I know you're making a funny meme, but it's not. It doesn't explain how that links back to the planes. It's literally, I can see outside my orbiter window. I can see the planet Earth. I'm thinking how big the planes are. At this distance, they'd be a speck. How does that speck relate to what's happening in orbit?
Actually, no. To be fair, I would have some kind of Grenier shenanigans going on in orbit that are, there's Vahek and he's monopolizing this region of space, and getting down to the planes is exceptionally difficult. Then the question is, how the fuck do the Corpus do it when they go to Cetus? But ignoring that part, But no, I get where you're coming from. I do genuinely. I think there needs to be something well developed for.
Yeah, it's a lot of reasons, but at the very least, I think the Vales one made sense though, because Corpus kind of own Venus. They'd have control of orbit, and it makes sense for them to go orbital strike here now. So you have to go up into orbit to stop them doing that. That made sense to me. I like that concept. If they only just do it for Vales, because that's the one they showed, I think that would be good. But anyway, so this list that they've said, the next point is they've said that Vales has been abandoned. No, well, this whole time we're trying to finish this small list, and every point you've jumped on and given us a separate point.
I want to talk about Deimos.
Okay,
what I'd love to see for Deimos though is they have these Leviathans like that sort of like grow from Deimos, and the Leviathans are trying to leave Deimos.
Nice.
Yeah. See. Now you like me talking.
No, I still mad. In fact, I'm about to finish a point of list. That's 4 points on it.
Go on, finish your point.
The last one was Orb Vales. Is Orb Vales abandoned? Has Orb Vales been... Mostly everything DE introduced are self-contained mini experiences that don't tie into anything else. Orb Vales, they've all been abandoned by DE. Has Orb Vales been abandoned?
I feel Orb Vales is the only one that can really be qualified as abandoned.
Yeah. I think the planes mostly reached a finish point. I would like to see more on them, but they're okay as their first test bed and things. Orb Vales, I do feel, didn't quite... It was an expansion on the system, but not enough. It was missing it needed multiple quests. It needed to use the whole map. It didn't do any of these things. I do feel Vales was bad. KDrives needed more to them.
Okay.
Right.
Pick something or Vales that you want to see added that you haven't previously said you wanted before.
Oh, that I haven't wanted before.
So, for example, me harping on saying I want the procedurally generated interiors. What is one thing you would like to see added to Orb Vales to give it that Orb Vales 2.0 oomph?
So that means I can't say, can we have more bounties that actually use all the cool areas on the map? Because I have said that before.
Indeed. Yeah. I want to give it some freshness. I can give you... so I can start... They showed off those weird car things in the planes.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Yeah, like, these will appear on the Orb Vales. Never happened. Like, yeah. I'd love to see those. Just these automobiles driving around, and I mean, maybe that's what ended up being the one wheels that ended up appearing. But I would really like to see those cars, and maybe some mission that you have to like chase the car down, maybe with Arcwing, right? Just explore them. Maybe you have to do this mobile-based mission, but you get the idea.
KDrive Championship quest line.
Very interesting.
With story.
With operators?
Can operators get on KDrives?
No.
There you go. Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah, no, there you go. That'd be a way to introduce operators on KDrives, because it would be... I'd love to expand the lore of the vent kids, what the Corpus actually... I'd like to see there be like a group within the Corpus that like... They do what Neff says, and obviously they have to fight the Voxelaris people. At the same time, they're like, well, we like betting on KDrives, we like riding on KDrives, so we'll happily run away from work for a minute to go compete in this championship. But then maybe along the line, Neff wants somebody to win, or is secretly in it because he wants to do something with it, or wants to bet to get something out of information, or get the vent kids or something. And so he puts in some sentient technology which disables warframes, so you have to do it on your operator, on your KDrive. That'd be interesting. But at first you're like, oh, you can make a joke about it. And then, like when your operative gets on it, it's like stumbles off of it. It's like, have you never ridden a KDrive before? It's like, no, it's like my legs are made of jelly. I've never been able to get my operator on a KDrive. You know, just I don't know. I just think that'd be it. It needed that. Instead, you could say like, oh, well, nobody plays KDrive, so they won't make any more content for it, and we're back into the negative feedback loop.
Yeah. I think one big thing is that it would be good if the community could band together to highlight DE. We want you to focus on this. Right? We will play it for the next 6 months to incentivize you to work on it. Even though it's pure hell, right? Just like Railjack, please work on it.
Yeah, I would be curious asking that. Is like, could you ask like Rebecca and say, right, we want to convince you to make people do KDrive upgrades or more KDrive content. How do we do this? Do we literally if we can get 5,000 people to play 2 hours worth of KDrive in the next week, will that be enough to guarantee update to KDrive? Where's the measurement metric of it?
I think we need a month of KDrive movement in open worlds and get as many people on board as possible.
I wonder if that. Yes, that's the thing. It's like, is that how? Because then that'll feed into my next point. Because there's one thing on this list which I feel hasn't been mentioned that has been abandoned, and we haven't mentioned yet. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I'm gone.
Conclave. I would love to see Conclave work, and it's like what they never fully commit to Conclave. If you want to commit to a PvP thing in a game, it needs to have seasons. It needs to have competitive ranking and league. And okay, you might be able to say things like the people who are the best are the people who host the games or whatever. That's a separate issue. But before we get to that issue and people whinging about that, and we could make it entirely cosmetic rewards and whatever. We have to have the reward to get people to play it. At the moment, you've not got that, and so nobody wants to play it because those people are so good, and nobody wants to try and fight against them because there's no reason to. If there were seasons, events, ranking leagues, then people are like, oh yeah. I mean, even if it just became the cheaters versus the cheaters would play it a lot more because they'd be like, oh well, I want to be the best. But there's no reason to. It's the same thing with KDrive ranking on the rankings. It's just. And so they never commit to it. I know I don't really like always comparing Warframe to Destiny 2, but Destiny 2 has PvP and it's an intrinsic part of the game. You don't have to play it at all. But at least it has seasons and ranking and rewards that are special for PvP and then special events, weekend events. I think it's called Iron Banner, something like that. Things happen, with people with audio lines and things and events and such. Until you do that, you can't just be like, oh, please play our PvP. We add everything into PvP. No, there's no reason to. So that is the biggest. And then you got Lunaro. It's exactly the same. Could you imagine if we had Lunaro leagues? I know people say, oh, well, the person with the best thing wins. Right. Well, if they did a one every 4th month, there would be a Lunaro league, and in that they tested it and it's like, okay, we're doing this. This might be the only time less people play it. It will have dedicated servers just for the special league, and you got to get into the league. Oh, look, it's more fun that way with dedicated servers, and then more people play it, and then they go, okay, well, if this is encouraging more people to play it, maybe we'll have dedicated servers the whole time because we'll pay for it. But until you have that cool league thing with, e-sporty stuff, they won't ever nobody will play it.
I kind of agree with you. I also feel that the way to get improved PvP is actually have PvPvE.
Yes. Which Destiny, no says, but Destiny does have it. Gambit, I think it's called.
I think that's the mode. But yeah,
so that's the biggest thing for me on abandoning the stuff that they keep. Oh, we're gonna make Conclave work, and they started again. They started quite strong when it was like small, or just the 3 starting warframes and starting weapons. But it was like, okay, we're playing the game. This still doesn't feel like PvP because it didn't have a ranking system or anything like that. So that's what it doesn't. They never go the whole hog. Right. You got anything more to add? Any other systems you can think of that haven't been finished?
No.
But my last point is overall, I really think DE are trying on this. No, that they haven't given up on Railjack. They are going whole hog on Railjack, and they are bringing the whole thing together with Railjack. They haven't abandoned it at all.
I concur. Let's go to replies.
They did try to fix their old cool shit. Their massive, most recent global difficulty rework I was so hyped for, that was supposed to fix the recurrent armor balance issue and balance status proc instance, was a massive letdown. I think they're talking about Steel Pad.
What? How? They just said they're just going to boost the numbers.
And they did.
They did.
And it was quite cool, and I like it. Works fine.
What? Q River.
Whatever happened to that? Nothing. It never existed to begin with. It was just a staged proof of concept.
That is very true.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay. It's like, I mean, if it's a case of, oh, do you want what's called procedurally generated interiors for Corpus capital ships, or do you want transport between the open world and Railjack, procedurally generated interiors? Do you want, the avionics rework so it's personal instead of whoever's hosting the ship? Or do you want Railjack transitions with open worlds, personal avionics, right? Do you want, like, I genuinely feel everything they're working towards with Railjack trumps this whole transition thing. I really do feel that.
I have to wait and see. I want to see.
I cannot.
The fact that there would be the open, you say that, right? But the way that concept was trying to show was there'd be the open world and then the orbital region above the open world, and that one region could affect the other region. That I don't feel that they have trumped that. Even if they bring in missions with Railjack so that you go onto a ship or something and do the last event.
Orphix Venom?
Yeah, so you go onto ships, do Orphix Venom, because I know they've said that one, and then you go do stuff with your mech, and then you come out again and do more Railjack or whatever. That does not trump having, like, 2 environments that are interconnected. You know, with, like, orbital platform shooting stuff, or, like, you know, drop pod ships, and maybe some of, you know, so you go up into orbit. If you don't deal with it, you're going to get, like, mad amounts of super corpus that are high level and dangerous. But if you go, okay, before we assault that base, before we attack the starport, we'll go up to stop the drop ship being hovering over this orbital position, and then we come back down. That, to me, is much more groundbreaking. To me.
Trying to think. I get where you're coming from. I
still think it's good, though, improvements to Railjack, but I'm just saying that there was a lot to that concept that doesn't get explored.
I think the big thing for me is the fact that, I was speaking about it before, the foundation for Railjack is so cracked and janky and can't support the weight of anything else. They need to fix that first.
I don't think it's that. No, I don't think it's cracked and janky. I think it's just they're building a conservatory, and they've built the bricks at the bottom, and then just keep going, these are nice bricks. Feeling?
No, I mean, I don't think that, as Scott said it before during that Quiet Shy interview, right? I just don't think that Railjack currently, right, today, is in a healthy place right now, and building on top of it is...
No, I see what you mean. It's like, because if they added, I think instead what they've done is they looked at their foundation, saw the good points, saw the bad points, and then just scrapped it, and they built a new foundation. I feel that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and then they can look to build
on it. Yeah.
The transitions.
I never liked the old Railjack mod UI. You know, the one cone one. I couldn't tell what I was looking at most of the time. It felt so painful. It felt rushed, didn't it?
The UI was not intuitive, and I was just like, what am I looking at? What's all these pips? What's all these weird squiggles? What's all these weird shimmers?
Yeah.
I don't understand what these are supposed to mean.
And it was complete departure from, hey, look, mods. And now what are we getting? Hey, look, mods.
Mods. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Like, oh, I know how those work. See, I think you're right. So yeah, now they'll build the house now on a sensible foundation, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Next one. They've stated already on at least one of their dev streams that they'll be focusing on finding things this coming year. while they also work on stuff they've already made known, New War, Deviri Paradox, etc.
No, fixing things.
Oh.
You said finding, fixing
Oh,
things
fixing.
this coming year.
Fixing things, yes, fixing things. Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
I'm really looking for. I'm not hyped, but I am enthusiastic for this new Railjack thing. You?
Yes, no, I am enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I'm holding judgment until I get my hands on it,
Of course.
which I think everyone's going to do.
Yeah.
But the largest thing for me is making sure, like, I mean, what if? Oh yeah, we've got this transition thing, but Railjack's still a janky mess.
Hmm.
But what was the point in getting the transition thing working?
Hmm.
Yeah. I do think that they've probably got the next few years planned out, like when they're planning on releasing the Deviri Paradox. I don't know if they plan on doing a cinematic quest for the new war. Fuck, I hope they are. Or, you know, I'd even settle for just a cinematic quest for the time being and deal with the new war later. But yeah, I hope that they do have all this stuff. Well, I'm sure that they have this stuff planned out on their giant whiteboards of awesomeness, and they're just not wanting to tell us because they recognize, as much as people bang on about it, that they overhype and overpromise stuff.
Mm.
You know, I'm not going to deny that. I do get impatient when, like, oh my god, why isn't it out yet? But yeah.
Didn't the Dev Workshop post mention a new villain is going to be introduced in Tempestari? WTF happened to Stalker and Hunhow? Honestly, I can see why they can't spend too much time on fixing game modes and stuff, but they can at least try to use the characters they have rather than introducing new ones every time a major quest is added.
I'm believing that Tempestari is supposed to be the Queen Pin introduction is supposed to be there. Oh god, what's his name? Granum. I think that the Queen Pins are supposed to be working for Granum, if memory serves. So there you go. It's just Granum. You know, we're reusing a dude. Yes,
we're expanding his.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind this individual, though. What happened to Stalker? What happened to Hunhow? We have had a tease, right? That Steve is supposedly working on something story related for Stalker, but I'm completely on board. What the fuck happened to Hunhow? Like, a large part of me is wondering, has there been a falling out between the voice actor of Hunhow and DE, which is why we're getting no more Hunhow plot?
But then what you could do is just do a Peter Dinklage in Destiny. They just
phone it in.
No. If you don't know, they brought in a completely different voice actor, re-recorded all of the lines for Destiny 2 for the Ghost.
Yeah, get Nolan North.
Nolan North, yeah, get Nolan North. Let's hope Hunhow needs to be Nolan North. That's the thing. There are ways around it, or you could just have it that, you know, that Hunhow is crippled or whatever, and you just show that he's repairing himself, and you show that his voice is changing and adapting, and you just have it warped through a few times, and then you have the new voice actor take over. There are ways around it that take little amount of thought and effort. If that is the reason, I will be very disappointed, because that is a lazy excuse for such what was setting up to be a cool villain.
To be honest, I wouldn't be opposed, right, to Hunhow died when you broke the war.
Right? It needs explaining, but right? Yeah.
Okay. But it needs explaining. That's the point, right? You can't just, you know, whoa, broken sword. Yeah? I mean, if he died because he apparently fused with Stalker...
Sorry, which was first? Octavia's quest or Second Dream?
Oh, fuck. Second Dream. We know Hunhow's not dead.
Yeah.
Fair point. Where the fuck is Hunhow? I keep forgetting that he even exists.
Yeah, I mean, did we destroy him in the Weave? I don't think you do. If that was it, I'd be really disappointed, because he is huge. I was waiting to fight him in a Railjack.
Jungus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're planning on actually having him as a raid fight, but because trials, but because the trials got removed, they had to sort of like rethink that.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be cool though.
That'd be a good reason.
Him on a Railjack.
Yeah, but he's that big. You need to. He's huge.
Humongous.
I'm pretty sure
Next.
the workshop for that's coming later tonight, actually. As for the Orb Vales, they said that there's an update in the works for it involving an 8-man raid, and the Lich's update's coming later this year.
They never said 8-man raid, right?
They said raid.
They said a raid. They never said 8-man raid.
Right.
I feel it's really important that we can't expect it to be an 8-man thing because we don't know if the Switch could handle it. Right?
Do you know they could? Here's something actually. They could do a 5-man raid. That would still technically be a raid, right? Because the game can handle 5 players in a map. Because of the way that, do you remember that's the way they do the Stalker missions, where you get the Stalker player coming in?
But have they ever done Stalker missions on Nintendo Switch?
I don't know, but I think that wouldn't be too big of a jump, would it? I know it would be one more player.
The hope is you're correct.
Yeah,
right.
I bet I would be. If anything, I bet I'm correct or not. But I'm still with you on this whole. I don't know if 8 players would work on the Switch, but something tells me that, because that's how the game works. And I know it works on other consoles, so I can see it very potentially. I don't think it's wrong, because I think that's how. I think the game is fundamentally set up to allow 5 players in a map. But they don't ever use that 5th player most of the time.
Technically, it's just like a limit. It's just a soft limit that checks periodically, because like some time ago, I discovered a bug. Which
I remember. Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, 8 players to get into a regular void mission because we circumvented the check by accident. You know, we immediately told DE and it was patched out very quickly. But it's, I mean, it's not like there's a hardware limitation for PCs or consoles and things. The hardware limitation is literally just on the Switch in theory. But, you know, personally, I think the best course of action is get Squad Link working and then have different perspectives of the fight. So you could do like, you know, did you ever do, what was the Jordas Verdict?
No.
Right, so with Jordas Verdict, there was an interior part and an exterior part.
Oh, yeah,
If you had Squad Link, right, you could just do that so that people don't transition between the two.
You just have a team that's outside and team that's inside, yeah.
Exactly, right? And I think that would work perfectly fine. But the only thing is they need to get Squad Link sorted.
Maybe that is the best way to do Squad Link, is that you start a raid, and that puts the squads together there and then. But then they go through separate missions that link together. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that they could do, so that's normal mode. Hard mode could have 3 or 4 squads linked together.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That'd be a better way of doing raids if they were in separate missions. Yeah, if that can be done. Who knows how it works back end? But yeah. Right, should we move on to the last point?
My last point.
I'm pretty sure.
Not the last point? Yeah, that was last. We already did that one because I picked up on the 8-man raid thing.
Oh no, I never finished it. You wanted to talk about raids midway through. I've never finished the line.
Go on then.
I'm going to start again.
Go on then.
I'm pretty sure the workshop for that's coming later tonight, actually. As for the Orb Vales, they said there's an update in the works for it involving an 8-man raid.
You waited.
When I start a whole thing about raids, and the Lich update's coming later this year. They pushed back the new war and Deviri 2 to 3 years to get all this stuff working properly.
Again,
yeah.
When have they said 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They've pushed it back. The end.
Yes. Who knows? Maybe 5 years. Maybe 10 years. Who knows? Yeah.
Warframe. They never come.
Wait, is it the 8th or 9th anniversary this year?
8th.
Wow. Gonna hit that 10-year thing. Though they're saying that about Destiny, at least they're actually sticking with Destiny 2 and they haven't bolted onto Destiny 3 yet.
Well, that's because they're able to chop out the content. And have you heard that they've already got Forsaken on the chopping block?
Really?
Yeah, no, seriously.
What's left?
I'll find you the article. I'll find you Shadow Keep.
And the new light thing. The literally last 2 expansions. That is... I assume what they'll do, they'll take out like 3 planets, then bring back one of the vaulted planets. Just be like, oh, here's a vaulted planet to play on.
There's an article on with Game Informer about it. I'll find it for you. But yeah, they've already got in the plans that they're going to be vaulting Forsaken. So it's all right. You know, that's how Destiny 2 will get to the 10-year thing, by constantly taking stuff out.
By basically just creating Destiny 3 through just shuffling a conveyor belt as planets fall off. Instead of it being a moving conveyor belt in sections, it sort of just slowly moves off the edge.
One Division. What was was it the Boat of Theseus?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
The Boat of Theseus. Is it still Destiny 2?
It's still Destiny 2.
It doesn't have any of Destiny
If you remove all the components and add new components and new planets,
it's still
is it still Destiny 2? I do not understand the Ship of Theseus reference. Okay, how about Destiny 2? I get it now.
Yeah.
I understand.
Right. I think we're done with this topic.
We are done with this topic. Let me click off topics off.